we had a show, episode 74, on cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
And that show was really the topic about me doing Aztec tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people ask questions like, I'm not Polynesian. Can I get a Polynesian tattoo? That's a common question that people have. But we changed it up in episode 74 a couple weeks ago. And we talked about me doing Aztec tattoos on, Mexican. I want to say Mexicans because they're Mexican, but
it's like Hawaiians. They're Kanaka Maoli, but they're Hawaiians.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they would be Aztec.
Yeah, it'd be Aztec. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Aztec is a person, is like an actual people.
So Aztec would be the same as Kanaka Maoli.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
Okay, good to know. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So as I was studying Aztec tattoos, reading up on books and everything, I do realize that I'm not of that culture. So there is a sense of familiarity that I have with the Polynesian culture growing up in Hawaii and studying and traveling throughout Polynesia that I can put in the tattoos that I do, along with the studying that I do on Polynesian tattoos. It goes hand in hand. But I do realize that with Aztec tattoos, I can only study. I know Mexicans. Right, that's okay. I know Mexicans. I know people with Aztec descent and Mayan descent, but I don't know that culture. I wasn't raised in that culture.
Yeah.
So, that's what that show was about. Talking about, is it okay, this and that. So let's go ahead and read some comments. So we're gonna have Rosette read some comments.
Before we read the
here.
comments, I want to give a shout out to Josie from Mississippi, Amber saying I need to own photography book for my foot tattoo, and Tony Lee, what's up, man?
For your journey.
Aslan from Fiji, what's going on, brother? And Desiree.
How's it? Hello.
All right, let's hit these comments up.
All right, so here we go.
Okay, so the first comment is from Gray Will. This is an interesting topic, especially given the once recognized serious taboo nature associated with tattoos. Symbols that had and to some still have immense cultural significance being tattooed for only their aesthetic appeal cheapens and lessens the validity of said tattoos, especially when given and received by non-members of said culture. Example, since increases in tourism to Iceland have seen and spoken to people bearing an Icelandic rune stave known as the Helm of Awe or the Eye of Terror, who got as tourist experience. Symbols like that, and even more so, the Elder Futhark rune staves carry great cultural, historical, and even esoteric meaning. The thing is, we as a society in the West don't hold as much value in things that were once considered to be prestigious or taboo. Symbols much like words no longer held a lot of power, as we're in an age where words have lost meaning too, and in an age such as now, people don't think twice about getting a cool tattoo, even if doing so robs the symbols they find cool of some of the deeper importance and sanctity. That's a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see both sides to this. So basically, I could just boil it down to someone, for example, going to Iceland, getting a indigenous symbol of the Eye of Terror or something very significant to their culture, but as a tourist getting it to maybe signify their journey to Iceland or their, vacation, why they're going there, whatever. That cheapens it, and I definitely see that.
Well, it's like the piece on my back. Remember I always tell you I want to get removed? I just got it because I was on the North Shore.
What is it of?
It was the turtle on my back. Remember we were trying to get removed?
Oh,
Yeah.
The petroglyph style.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would also see the side where our cultures change. So one thing that one thing that I always think about is everything has meaning that you put towards it.
Yeah.
So what if someone comes along and tattoos something or likes something and makes another meaning of it and doesn't know the original meaning to it, right?
So
like recreates it.
Yeah.
Just saying, oh, I like this moon, but in that culture, that moon was significant for something. But someone comes out of the blue, takes it somewhere else, and recreates a whole new meaning for it that they don't know. And next thing you know, that whole culture and community only knows that meaning.
Like the swastika is original. Yeah.
Perfect, right? Perfect. Good idea. because now, I know some indigenous people or people that loves peace and all that stuff that would get it, that would want it tattooed. In this culture, it's not accepted.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't matter what it means.
That's what it was shown as, like what it means now.
Right.
Yeah.
It stands for something else.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of bad for the indigenous culture because like, no, this doesn't mean that. They stole it.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Do you fight it and say, but no, in my culture, this isn't a swastika. This is a symbol of peace and unity and all this. And then you just, because you're holding true to your own culture.
I think that's where if you want that, you're going to have to be like that all the time. Explaining yourself, you know, and it starts somewhere, but I mean, you're not going to change the world.
At some point, you have to accept that the world evolves, cultures evolve, and do your best to take the sanctity of that culture and symbols and move it forward. But you can't change other people, you know, but you can only do your best with, and something like that where Hitler changed the meaning of something so drastically worldwide, I think it's almost impossible to like reverse that. But nothing's impossible. But you know,
it's gonna be hard.
It's kind of like,
well, you see
I don't know what you do.
You see old pictures of Native football players, and they have the wrapped around the armband. It's the swastika symbol, but it's the other way because swastika's backwards. And
right, he flipped it.
So when they have it, people are like, "What the heck?" And it's like you have to do research, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Next comment.
Okay. So this comment's from Dimitri Nguyen. I don't think aesthetic has a real importance in this topic. The meaning behind a tattoo has more importance in my opinion. Like language, tattoo has to evolve to be relevant. Sticking to old traditions without understanding is harmful.
I'm very glad that you read that because I would have said emo. I didn't know, in my opinion, IMO.
Oh, is that what that stands for? I was going to say emo too. I was like, what's emo? I just
learned something. I thought it was a spell check or something wrong. Okay. All right. In my opinion.
In my opinion.
I'm glad we got the kid, the younger generation reading today. The young ones. Okay. Aesthetics. You know,
what's that mean?
Aesthetics is like the looks, you know, like it flows, it looks well. It feels good, you know, aesthetically, like visually. So in my opinion, I think it does matter. And I think that our traditional priests and tattoo masters did tattoos aesthetically.
Yeah.
The pe'a goes over the hips right here. All the way down to the knees, and it's very aesthetic to the body. Yeah. But it has a lot of meaning too. And I think both of those together are important because if they would have just put the meaning with no aesthetics whatsoever, it could have just been a
blob.
Whatever.
It was almost like when we had Manu on talking about the Tahitians. When they originally had the original way they would tattoo would be with the shape of the shoulder and the chest, like
they already knew
flow.
That, right?
Yeah,
right. So I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I just think that it's also important, but definitely it's important as far as the traditions and sticking to the meaning. So